All right, well, welcome. Today I will be going through the new custom pages and landing pages in Command on the new agent websites. So a little bit of background. Keller Williams upgraded the agent sites back in September. At that point, they did not have custom pages and landing pages as an option. However, they rolled that back out in December. So we're going to be strictly kind of focusing on those two components today. Um, who here has not upgraded their website? Has anyone? Okay, good. Um, you know, we've gone through a couple trainings on the new agent sites, how to customize the homepage, and do some of those different things. Um, but today I'll kind of go through some different custom page options, landing page options, what the differences are, and some things like that. So, I will go ahead and jump right in here and share my screen. All right. Can everyone see my command?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So anytime you want to make changes to your website, you're going to go to consumer. I do want to make a quick note. If you're ever looking to update your headshot, your contact information, that's all going to pull from your marketing profile. And so if you're unaware of where that is located, you're going to click on your name in the upper right corner and select settings. And your marketing profile is located under this Connect Settings tab right here. And so this is what's going to feed in to your website. This is your consumer facing profile. So this is what feeds to your agent site, your app, your legal footer, and your email campaigns. So if you're looking to upgrade or update your headshot, your phone number, email, website, all of that information is in here.
Hey,
So
Lindsay.
yeah.
Hi. So regarding that, I was just working on something this morning and
Mhm.
I was wondering, um, in terms of, the different logo sizes and the way that formats once you have
Mhm.
that information in, like on an e-newsletter, is there
Mhm.
any way to change it in the settings, how it might format or how it might appear when um, you put it on a newsletter or when it pulls that information in?
So are you talking specifically about your headshot or logo?
No, I'm talking about what gets pulled in to like a monthly or whatever, an e-newsletter. That information is pulled from the marketing profile. And
Mhm.
like sometimes the logos are drastically different sizes or it's just not lined up. And so I just wondered
Yeah.
if there's any way to kind of
Well,
clean that up a little so it looks better in things
yeah,
like that.
with an email campaign, you can manipulate the size of the logo directly within that email campaign. For
Oh,
example, you click into on the logo, you should be able to edit that image. There are a few times where some of the email campaigns that I'm creating, um, for example, I've been using one of the luxury templates. Well, I remove the luxury logo that's pulling in there and
yeah.
I upload a different KW logo and I am able to manipulate the size of that logo to make sure that it's just the correct sizing. So you should be able to manipulate some of those components within an email campaign in the
Okay.
flip. Um in regards to the website, I mean, just as best practice, I do recommend your headshot being sized to 360 by 360 pixels.
Okay.
This is something you can easily do in Canva. If anyone has issues with that, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. You'll
Thanks.
even notice like in here, like your headshot might even appear a little bit stretched out or something. In that case, I would resize it. Your team logo, this is where I would not necessarily go by this recommended size. It may look fine here, but it will appear really small on your website if you have that uploaded. I typically play around with the size like in Canva or something like that, where I make it as large as possible, because of course we want your logo to stand out. So those are
Okay.
just a little kind of tips and tricks there.
Okay, thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah. Market Center logo, it looks really funky here. Don't worry about that. It'll be fine on everywhere else. It's just all these like random little things that I've noticed throughout, um, as I'm going through, these trainings and working on some of these things. But yeah, upload that Market Center logo as is. It's going to look weird here, but it's not going to look weird anywhere else. So just a little caveat to that. All right, guys, so I'm going to dive into consumer here. So that was just a little bit about the marketing profile. But this is your dashboard for making those edits to your website. So just a couple things here. You'll notice that you've got your subdomain. If you ever want to make changes to that, you can. You'll just simply click in here and make those changes. You will find your app URL right here too. So this is much easier to find than what it was previously. So if you want to include this in any social media posts or profiles, or you want to make a QR code for some print marketing materials, directing people to download your branded Keller Williams consumer app, this is your unique URL. So you would just click on copy, and then you've got that URL copied and you can utilize that in your marketing. Team sites. So if anyone is on a team, you might see this section here. Preferences. This is all in regards to displaying some of these things on the listing pages. So if you prefer not to display Keller Home Loans or Keller Covered, you can disable that if you so choose. And then you do have the option to add that forced site registration to your site. It's defaulted to unrestricted, meaning anyone can go on your site and search for as many homes as they want. Otherwise, you can set that up accordingly. But otherwise, I'm
Lindsay?
just gonna dive. Oh, did someone have a
Sorry,
question?
this is Edie. Sorry, quick question for you. I
Yeah,
am on a team, but I do not see that feature on this screen on my version
it
of
just
Command.
probably means that the team site hasn't been set up yet.
Ah, okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Of course. All right. So then when you want to actually edit like the meat and potatoes of your website, you're going to click on this edit my website button. And so previously, you only had blog post and then maybe one or two other things on this quick start. I think like uploading an image, adding another testimonial. But now it's changed a little bit. So you're going to see a few more like different options here. So this is where anytime you want to create a custom page or a landing page, you've got those two options right here. Keller Williams did build out two templated pages, meaning these are pages that are set up and they are ready to add to your site. You don't have to build them. You don't have to customize them. They're just created. So if you want to add a mortgage calculator page to your site, or the why work with KW, you're simply going to click on this page, or that button, I should say, and everything's pretty much filled out and ready to go. So you've got a page title, which you can edit if you so choose. You can add a header to this. It's really just a simple addition at the top. I mean, it says mortgage calculator right there. I mean, if you wanted to add something a little bit different, you could. You could also upload a different background image instead of just that like kind of grayish bar. But otherwise you really don't have to do anything there. Because this is all built out for you. So what you would do is, if you're good with everything else, you're just going to hit publish and that's going to add it to your website. And so just to show you guys my live site, I've already got this added. If I click on this more tab, this is where I can find the mortgage calculator page. So if I click on that, there it is. So as a consumer, I can go through this and start filling this out to calculate my mortgage payment. The other one is that Y Keller Williams page. So again, I've added this to my live site as well. So I'm going to click on more, and there it is located. So this is just a simple page. It's got some great kind of text included in here. But again, you can go through, add this page, but then make some edits to it. If you want to add more content to this, you can. You can change out this little header background image. Like if I wanted to go in and, spruce this up a little bit instead of just that plain background color, I could do that as well. So I'm just going to click. I like when I'm working on something and I don't need to save something, or I just need to click back. I like to click on this red, that KW logo there. It'll take me back to this dashboard. So same thing with the Why Work with KW template. If I click on that there, I can change that title. I can include a background image. So if I wanted to do something like that, I can just click on this plus button here. And where it says required, I'm going to click on that. This is kind of like my my library of content for my agent site. So these are all images, logos that I've uploaded already that are part of my agent website, or I've uploaded in the past, maybe for another page that I was working on. But if I wanted to upload a new image, I can just down here click on new, and I can do a new upload. So I can choose, and it's basically just going to pull in from my files on my computer. So if I wanted to upload a different image, here I've got some stock images that I maybe want to use. Maybe I'll choose that one. Internal name, this is going to pull the file name, however it's saved on my computer, but maybe I'm just going to do dining room image. And that's more of kind of a background, like thing with the website. You're just naming that image. That's not going to display anywhere. It more so is just going to help with like organic SEO, search engines picking up your website and how they read that essentially. So then I can hit save. And then it's going to tell me it's saved. So I'm good. I can click back. There it is. And exit out of there. So there's that image that I just uploaded, and you can see that now that background is edited.
Hey,
So,
Lindsay.
yeah.
Can you just go real quick back to where you found those templates under new custom page? Is that where you were?
So this one in particular, so the mortgage calculator and the Why Work with KW,
Yeah.
those are
Oh, I see them under the
their
quick start.
own, yeah, they're their own buttons here. So
Okay,
those
so
are
we
just the
haven't gotten to the
two.
custom page.
Correct. Yeah, I
Oh,
just wanted to showcase these two. They're already completely built out for you. Just wanted to kind of show you how you can customize them a little bit if you so
great.
choose. Yeah. But let me dive into the custom pages and landing pages. So the differences between a custom page and a landing page is a standalone web page. It's not tied to your agent website, whereas a custom page is. So in the past, landing pages were always really great for like an open house sign-in, or if you wanted to highlight a specific property, or maybe you just wanted to create some sort of like event invite, or something specific. So it's totally up to you on how you want to utilize these. Just keep in mind, landing page not tied to your agent site, custom page is tied to your site. So those custom pages, if I go back to my live site, those are going to display in my navigation menu. Right in here, it would just be added as an additional page. So I'm going to go through a couple more different ideas for a custom page. One thing that I get a lot of agents asking about is doing some sort of like home evaluation page or requesting a CMA. And there's a couple different ways that you can go about doing that. So I'm going to click back in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on custom page. And so I do love that it gives you that preview right here. But I'm going to start with that page title. So if you were doing something like request a CMA, and you can add that title right in there. So as I'm editing this, I'm going to see those changes, that preview. That internal name is just automatically going to pull from that page title. Similarly with what I just was showing everybody is that I can change that background image. So instead of just that kind of blank bar across, I can add a background image there. But then I'm going to click on page contents and I'm going to click on add module. And so this is going to pull in all of the different modules that I have available. So you could add some rich text. So if you wanted to kind of more so just have some text and images on that page, I could pull something like this in. They have some more statistic like lists that are kind of templated out for you that you could, just kind of plug and play some numbers if you wanted to highlight something like that. If you wanted to pull in another testimonial list, currently just the testimonial list is on your homepage, but if you wanted to incorporate that into a custom page, you do have the option of doing that now as well.
Is there a limit to those still, Lindsay? I'm sorry to interrupt.
I don't think so.
I think there's 9.
Is there 9? Okay. Well, let's try this. So, and I'm probably a bad example just because I don't have as many as the typical agent, but if you click here, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are my fake testimonials, by the way. But if you probably have more than 9. So if you've tried adding more than 9 and get to 10, you're like, oh, well, it bumped this one out, then there's your answer, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I would just you could always, I know there's a way that you can kind of set it up to be dynamic where different ones are switched out. So that's something that I would take a look at if there is a limit to how many are displayed.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever add a module and then you want to delete it, just click that little red remove button right there. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna click on add module again. So here we go. Here are all my different options. Video module. And then you've also got these additional modules. So if I wanted to do some sort of like HTML embed or iframe embed, I have those in there as well. Something that Keller Williams just added recently is a home value search component. So I wanted to show you this right away. So if I click on that, this is something that's completely built out, which is really cool. So you can add this in here. And if you wanted to change that title, you can. Same thing with the description. And you can see right in that preview how it's going to look. So it's very, very simple, you guys. If I wanted to kind of build this page out a little bit more, you can always add in like a contact form as well. So I could do something like, okay, I'm going to add another module. And I just want to add my contact form. And here's the form. And there's different forms that you can create, but I just want the contact form. So there it is. So again, I'm just clicking on this little drop down. Here's my contact form. And that should refresh here. Let's see. Typically it shows up. Maybe. I'm going to try hitting publish and see what that does. There we go. But here you'll see there's that contact form. So if you just wanted to kind of build out that page a little bit more, instead of it having, it's because it's a very simple page. Basically, someone's going to go on your site, type in their home address. Depending on the data that's pulling in, it's either going to populate their kind of a general number or price range right away. Otherwise it'll still send you that lead, and then you can reach out to that consumer. So I did add this to my website. So if I click on more and home evaluation, and you can see I edited that background image there. I added contact form just in case. But you can go in and you can add an address. So for example, I added my address, my home address, and it does pick up from Google Maps. If I click Let's Go, it does prompt the consumer to fill this out right away. And it does say from this address in particular, a home valuation estimate is not currently available for this property. Why? Market data is limited. And my address is in a newer construction subdivision, which is, I'm guessing why. But otherwise, you still will get this lead. So I just got a notification from my command app that a new lead was received. So I still get that information. The consumer still has an option to go in and message you as well, if they want more information. But either way, you've got that lead already. Otherwise, if I do a different address, I'm just going to use my old, can't even remember the address I grew up on. Okay, if I do that, same thing. I've got myself in here like so many different times. There we go. So that's how it's going to look with that estimated value. So pretty neat tool that you have available. Another option for some lead generation through your website. And also something that you can link on social media. And it's just, again, it's fully built out for you, and a great way to connect with people. So that's one option for that home valuation. Now, I know a lot of agents prefer to gather some more information about a property or about the contact. One other thing that you can do, I know a lot of people like to utilize Google Forms. You can now embed a Google form on your website. So, you can utilize that home evaluation module. Your other option, and I'm just going to click back here. If I want to do a custom page, and let's say, I'm just going to do that request CMA. And I'm going to add a module. And maybe I'm going to add some text in here first. And I can include a title, looking for the value of your home. And then you can add some text in here, maybe describing what a CMA is. I believe I have one in here. So for example, I just added some text in here. I'm going to do the same thing. I guess it doesn't want to copy directly from here. Let's try it again. Interesting. Doesn't want me
Hey,
to.
Lindsay, what does that mean, hide page in navigation? Or if you do this page, and maybe you're going to get to that, that does not show up in the drop-down menu at the top of your website or your agent site, correct?
Sorry, say that again. Hide in.
So when you create a custom page, or
Yeah.
even one of these that are already pre-made, like the CMA search or the contact form. So when you create that, once somebody gets to your website, they won't be able to find that unless you give them a direct link to that particular landing page, right?
Correct. Yeah. Like
Okay.
if you didn't want this to show up in the page navigation, then you could toggle that on. Basically, then if I publish it, it's published, but it's not going to show up under this in this navigation menu.
Oh, it's in more. I got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize the more side of that.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so sorry guys, I'm getting annoyed that this won't copy and paste. But basically you can, grab some text in here, put that in there. Maybe I'll just say, this comparative market analysis, um, holds immense value in, what was it, in real estate. And guys, by the way, I got this verbiage from ChatGPT. So if you're ever looking to kind of, incorporate some more text content to your website, utilizing something like ChatGPT is such a huge, tool that will benefit you in that sense with your marketing. And I mean, I've used it for so many different things, and it is something that we'll be talking a little bit more about next week. But if you're curious as to like how I got some of this text, like that's where I grabbed it. Okay, so I just wanted to add some text in there just so you could see how that shows up. So you'll notice too that like with the rich text module, I do have a lot of different options with this toolbar here. So just a couple things. If I wanted to add like another image or like a video in here, I can also embed that Google form directly in here. So just an example, I'm going to grab an image and I'm just going to add item. Oops, not add so many. Okay, so I'm going to add another stock image in here. Let's do this one. Okay. I'm going to upload that. And let me remove that. Okay, save and close. There we go. So you can kind of manipulate this however you'd like it, but that's just the text module. And within that text module, I can add text, I can add images, and then I can also add an embed code. So let's see here. So if I find this little embed icon right here, and I can choose iframe, and I want to create new. So then you're going to name it. So I'm just going to do request CMA form. And then I'm going to grab the URL. So let's say I'm just going to go to my Google Drive and I'm going to go to Google Forms. And so I've created a form, request a CMA on your home. And, Google Forms is something that you can make prettier. You can change the colors, the fonts, but you can manipulate what questions are asked and whether or not they're required. So this is just a form that I was playing around with and created in my Google account. But if you wanted to embed something like this on your website, all you're going to do is when you click on send, you have the option of emailing it, linking it, or embedding. So one thing I noticed, you're not going to grab this embed HTML. You're actually going to grab the link. I like to do the shortened URL, but that's the link that I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to go back to this page here. That's where I'm going to pull in the URL. And now you can see there's that form. You'll also notice that I have the iframe height and the width. And the nice thing with Google Forms is that it tells you that as well. So I'm just going to add that in there just for good measure. So especially that height, I'm going to do 821. Just to make sure that that's formatted correctly. Okay, so then once I'm done with that, I'm going to hit publish. And basically it's just publishing the form to be added. So then I'm going to click back. And now this shared, this little drop down here, now I've got that created, that request CMA form. And then I'm going to save and close.
Mm.
And there we go. So now I've got that form, it's embedded on my website. So that's how it's going to look.
And where did you do that? In which particular, like,
So Google Forms,
no, not Google Forms. I just want to know where you hit where was that embed button?
yes, yep.
Because
So
I'm
that was,
under custom
yeah,
page right now and I can't figure it out.
yeah. So there's actually a couple of ways that you can do it. So I started with that text module, and that's this right here where it says rich text. And
Ah,
then I've got this toolbar, and embed is an option. So basically, when I've got my cursor here, I've got that button here for embed, and I chose iframe. The other option that you have, you could either do it directly in that text box, essentially, or you can add another module. So if
can
I
I
do,
just ask what iframe means? What does that mean?
you know what, I don't know the technical term,
Okay.
but it's basically where you're taking a component and you're embedding it directly into a website so that it's functional, meaning
Okay.
it's not linking off of your site, it's embedded directly on your website page, and it's functional. So it's a form and you can fill it out directly on your page.
Okay.
That's my like basic like knowledge of like what an iframe is. It's basically taking something from another site and embedding it on your site.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Um, so the other thing that you can do is you can add a separate module. So I'm back to this modules page, and I also do have the option to iframe embed, and it's basically the same thing. It's just its own module, if that makes any sense. But if I click on that, and you'll see that there's that one that I already created, the request CMA form, or if I wanted to create a new iframe kind of embed section here, I can do that as well. So you've got a couple different options of how you can add that that iframe code in there. So you'll see here I've got page contents. Number 1 is that rich text module. And within that, that's where I created, I added that text, I added an image, and I added that iframe. But then I also have another module for iframe embed. So again, either one works. It's essentially the same process for how you're going to add it. It's either its own module or it's part of that text module. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just have 2 different options of how you can add it. And I'm gonna just remove that since I've already got it added. But I can go in, and again, if I wanted to add maybe some of these stat lists, if I wanted to add testimonials to this page as well, I would just go in here, hear from my clients. I can add in my testimonials here. And then I should see that update. So here we go. So again, it's just a matter of adding those modules to kind of build out that page. And then, so this is something that I think I was playing around with this earlier, and I deleted that Google form. And then let's see here. Yeah, so that's the only one I have. All right. So then you would just go ahead and publish that if you were ready to display that on your website. All right. You can always hit this little button here. That's just gonna help like preview it. a little bit larger there. And you'll notice this is it's just shared preview. It's not your actual website. But just to get an idea, better idea of how that's going to display. There you go. All right.
Lindsay,
right.
quick question. I
Yeah.
don't know if this is possible because I think it has to do with the way I selected them, but I would like to see why Keller Williams show up first under more and then
Okay.
all the little tools and gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe I could go to that list and like somehow click on it, hold, drag, something like that. Are
Mm-hmm.
you aware of any way to move the order of those?
Yes. So I actually just found out today that you can reorder the navigation menu. I haven't played around with it so much. But if you click on the little menu up top here in the upper left corner and you click on organization site, and I believe it is, okay, navigation provider. You can do a custom org site navigation.
Mm.
And you can basically kind of manipulate how everything's organized. Um, Now I know, I don't know if anyone follows like Marty Miller 66-day challenge, but he just came out with a video on how to do this today. So I watched maybe 5 minutes of it. I didn't get through the whole thing, but I do know it's possible. So that's something that you guys, I can definitely send out to you, if you wanted to kind of take a look at that. Um, but it's a matter of kind of going through and creating your own navigation menu, like your own version of it. And then that's where you can manipulate the order of it. But it is possible.
Okay, when I was in there, Lindsay, and
Mhm.
I did the agent, I happened to select the agent default navigation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So then the modules under my more menu showed up, and I
Okay.
actually grabbed the one I wanted, held the mouse button down, and dragged it into the position I wanted.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So it was just a drag thing. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
would not have thought to go up to that upper menu, so that's great.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat. I was like, "Oh, okay." And the cool thing too is that I do think it's also possible to link in an external to an external website as well. So if you wanted to have a link in your navigation menu that linked off to another website,
Mm.
you manipulating that navigation menu will allow you to do that as well, which is not
Super.
something you were previously able to do on the agent site.
Yeah.
It's another
Thank
really
you.
great upgrade. Yeah. Um, all right. So I just wanted to show you guys really quickly landing pages here. Very, very similar process. Again, it's just its own separate link outside of your agent website. But same thing. You're going to title that landing page. Let's just say, we're doing like an event invite or something like that. Description, header. Same thing with the modules. So I can click on add module and then I've got the same content available to go in and add. So maybe you wanted to do some text. Let's say this is an event that you're promoting and you want to have a form for people to sign up. And maybe you have like some text describing the event, the date, the time, an image that is marketing the event, and maybe a video that's highlighting it as well. So again, you can really manipulate the page to kind of, utilize it however you so choose. So yep, title, bridge text, I've got the same options as what I had in that custom page. So embedding a form, uploading images, adding hyperlinks, all of that's in there. So something like click here, highlight that, hyperlink it. or link it to an attachment. So I can add all of that in there. So a lot of different things, you guys. What else? Has anyone played around with preferred vendors?
No.
Okay. So it is something that's displayed if you go to your about page on your website. So let me go to my live site. If I click on my, oh, sorry, my Zoom toolbar was in the way. About me. So again, everything's pulling from your marketing profile here. But you do have a preferred partner section. And this is something that you can go in and you can add when you are editing your about page on your website. It does give you the option to go in and actually start to add preferred partners in here. And it looks like this is also something that you can add on these custom pages and landing pages. So I can go in here, change the title, the description, but basically you're just going to click on this link right here. And it's kind of this external page that pulls in to where you're going to enter in that information for your preferred partners. So it says opens. For some reason, it's not opening. Let's see. No vendors. Not sure why my link isn't working, but typically I've done this many times, so I'm not sure why today it doesn't want to open for me, but you would click on the link and that's going to open up a page. I'm going to try doing it on the home page. Bear with me, guys. Okay. So on the the about page. So here are your default pages. You've got the about page, the home page, blog. If you have a team site, you'd have a meet the team page. But I'm going to click on about. And then let's see here. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm on my team site. That's why. Let me click back to my personal. It must have bumped me over there. Okay. About. Okay, so here, preferred partners. Let me try this link again. Here we go. Well, now it's going to open up multiple times. All right, so this is the page where you can add your preferred vendor partners. So all you're going to do, if you want to add those in, upper right corner, click on Add Vendor. Oh, and it wants me to log in. Okay. Let's try this. All right, well, of course, this is a page I've never seen before until I do a training, so that's just typical. But I promise you guys, you can go in and add your vendor partners. I'm going to exit out of this and try it again. All right, let's see here. Let's see if it'll let me. Okay, so you would just add in a vendor name, their website, the contact's name, who you're working with, their email, all of their information, and then you can choose vendor type. So you can get really specific with like above ground swimming pool installation. But it's a great spot to add your preferred partners with, you know, your lenders or title companies or handyman or whoever it is. You know, you've got all of these options in here, which is really nice to kind of keep them all in one spot on your website, which is really cool. Carpeting, cat grooming. Wow. Okay. Really specific. So like the list goes on and on and on and on. It's alphabetical. But if I wanted to add another title company, add in the counties, Milwaukee, Saki, Waukesha, Racine, et cetera, et cetera. You can add their logo in there and then add vendor. And that's going to display then on your website. And so you'll notice too, it'll then be kind of categorized. So I've got title companies. I just have the one added so far, but you can display all. And then you'll see title companies, mortgage companies, cat groomers, carpenters. So based on what you've added under that vendor type, all of those categories will display then. So that is all in there. So again, that's just an added module that you can include on different custom pages and landing pages. All right. Any questions on anything that I covered so far? Again, it's, sky's the limit to the custom pages. Utilize those modules however you so choose. I think the stat pages too are really helpful too if you want to kind of include your own stats, maybe include some KW stats, however you want to manipulate that and utilize it, I think is a really great option.
Hey,
Any
Lindsay, are you able to, can I just stick with you for like 2 minutes afterward?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? All right.
This is great, Lindsay. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, this is still something that's relatively new, so I'm still playing around with everything. But if you guys come across any questions as you're working through things, just don't hesitate to reach out to me, Kathleen. But yeah, I'm really excited about these the pages. There's more, I think, functionality, more options in terms of like what you can
Yes.
create on the site. So always love
Yep.
that.
It's great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.